In today's Money Smart, we are talking about balance.
Yes, and finding that middle ground between saving and spending can sometimes be tricky, but to help us navigate it is financial expert MJ Harris. Great to see you as always, MJ.
Looking good as always. How you doing?
You as well.
All right,
great.
We got some questions we want to get to. KTLA 5 viewer saying that he describes himself as someone who's 35 years old with a decent paying job. About 5 years ago, he almost hit rock bottom after a job loss, got a lot of debt, and he's trying to make ends meet. He recently dug himself out of that hole, and he says that I'm rebuilding my credit and I live on a very strict budget. My issue is that I almost never do anything or buy anything nice for myself. How do I balance the constant anxiety of being financially secure with my desire to live and enjoy life?
You know, when I think about 5 years ago within my own life, it was very similar. I was almost in bankruptcy. I was in pre-foreclosure, which is the stage where you're literally waiting on them to schedule the foreclosure date, about $100,000 in credit card debt. Since then, I have literally changed my life. I've built, quite a business for myself, over 800 team members as of today. And I can tell you that there were two key lessons that I learned in the aftermath of that transformation in my own life. The first thing is that you're not your financial past at all. You can go through whatever you go through financially, but the reality is that if you got through it, if you made great choices to get through it, then you should be celebrating yourself and not depriving yourself. And I think that one thing we have to pay attention to is that the way we think about our money is often connected to how we spend it. So if we deprive ourselves financially, then that sets the stage for us to not be able to sustain good choices. So think about like crash dieting. If you try to crash diet, you're probably going to fall off because your mind is associating the dieting with something that's uncomfortable and just something that you don't enjoy. Rather, if you have a balanced approach to it, you're going to be able to sustain it that much better. Same with money. If this viewer has a much more balanced approach to spending his money, his mind will associate good financial planning and good spending with being a good thing, and then he'll be able to build on it that much more.
Well, what you're saying, though, let's say you are in a financial straits, dire financial straits. You get out of it a little bit. You don't want to go buy a Rolex and an Armani suit. You want to budget yourself, right?
Be on a budget, but also make sure that budget isn't so restrictive that you can't enjoy your life. Right. Because if you're depriving yourself, you won't be able to sustain those choices. And that was one of the key lessons I learned.
What about, I know people who have lost 2 jobs in a row sometimes, and they get down about the choices that they are making. So then they second guess themselves to make that next choice. Are there great choices to make? You mentioned that. Yeah,
I always say you are not your financial past. If you can remember that, then you can recognize that the choices of the past, you did the best of what you knew at that time. Now you know better, you've done better, you've dug yourself out. And so you've got to focus on the fact that you're a reflection of the good choices you've made to fix your situation, not the past choices that got you in the situation.
If you could say, like, what's the first thing you should do if you do lose your job, what's the thing you should do?
Look at what expenses you can cut back on. Call your credit card companies. Can I pay the minimum payment? Call the car note company. Sometimes they'll let you suspend payments. Reduce expenses, reduce expenses, reduce expenses.
Okay, great.
Great tips,
You always have, and even when he doesn't know the question's coming. That's
I never get the questions in advance.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
All right, make sure to follow MJ, and you can see his financial and personal improvement advice videos at watchmjharris.com. All right.